and they come out and score 4 second-half goals. Now, Erling Haaland's face there, the only time I've seen him that happy is when he's got a ball under his arm, when he's scored a hat-trick. Is a relief to him. He's listening to the noise about he's not scored in the last few games. That was massive for him tonight to score. You can tell by his reaction, the smile so wide on his face. And for them to stay out there that long is quite unusual, Sean.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think at half-time whistle, we heard a few boos here or there, and which I thought was unusual in general, especially with City being in second place. But I think the players responded in kind in the second half, and the fans responded in kind to what the players did. And at home, if you always have that fan base behind you, it's 100% like the 12th man, and it just pushes. Even if you're tired, you've managed to find that extra yard or that extra sprint. Like the last tackle that Ake put in, where he tries to get slide. Normally he's tired, but the crowd keep you going and you get that last run out.
And they got back to winning ways, and they have reduced that gap at the top of the Premier League table. Well, that was in their intention when they set off tonight. 5 points behind Arsenal. They played a game more. They have a slightly better goal difference. A reminder, of course, that they have to play the league leaders twice still this season, the first of which is in the 15th of February. And, of course, before that, they play each other in the FA Cup as well. Spurs still 5 off the top 4. They've now played a game more than Newcastle and Manchester United. So next up, of course, both the top 2 are in action on Sunday, but City are at home to Wolves first. So, of course, if they win that, then when Arsenal take to the field at the Emirates against Manchester United, the gap then would just be 2 points. And, of course, the Premier League all begins with Liverpool-Chelsea on Saturday, then a goal rush with a huge game at the bottom, West Ham against Everton, and it rounds off with the Monday Night Football, because that's when Spurs are next in action. 6 defeats in 10 league games now, and they have a London derby at Craven Cottage against Fulham. Significant does that feel for Manchester City tonight?
I think it's massive. I think it's almost like a statement piece, psychologically as well. I think they've won that now. Now it's a statement saying to Arsenal, come on, it's on now. And you can see by the reactions of all the players that they seem to feel it in their heart as well. That Spurs don't often concede 4 goals. They concede goals, but that in the second half was basically men against boys. They just controlled the game to the point where they just curled up and just, in a way, just let them do exactly what they wanted to do, apart from giving away a few fouls. They panicked every time they had the ball at the back. They just kept kicking it off the pitch. They just couldn't retain the ball. And that's what City want you to do, try and play so they can intercept it and attack from high. And it paid off massively in the second half.
I think it was a huge statement from Manchester City, not only the 3 points, but the manner of it. You know, adversity, half-time. You know, we're thinking such a strong bench, surely the manager will make changes. We had a sneaky feeling that he might go stubborn and stick to his guns because he doesn't make too many decisions wrong. And then he's got another one correct. You know, he's left the same 11 out there and they've performed in the second half like he intended from the word go. But they had an uphill struggle, you know, 2-0 down. But as soon as they scored that first one, there was only ever going to be one winner of that football match. And like I say, rolling the sleeves up, finding a way in front of their home fans. This is a statement win for them. They're back and they're the team to beat. If you're going to finish above Man City, you're going to win the Premier League.
And on that subject, we're going back to your experience as a Premier League winning captain. When you're not playing and you say, I'm not watching, or I'm going out to walk the dog, or whatever you do, and those Arsenal players at half-time would have looked at their tablets and their phones and seen that scoreline, and now they're looking. Well, even at this stage, what does that do mentality-wise?
Absolutely. I mean, you hear a lot of players that say, no, we're worried about our job, we're not worried about the others. It's total nonsense, total. They're there looking at that result at half-time, they're thinking, wow, this might be 3 points we haven't got to win. You know, if we can, it helps us, it's going to help us along the way here. And then when they switch it on at the end and they see 4-2, it hits you, it makes you feel sick. But then you have to go and do your job. And now you know they're right up, they're behind you now, they're coming, and they're coming strong because they have the experience of doing it. They come from behind, they've won from the front, they know all different ways to win this Premier League. Now, Arsenal have to try and change the trend and do it for the first time in a very, very long time with these fresh players. fantastic what they're doing up to now. Mikel Arteta's team, brilliant, great young squad. Like I say, you've got Jesus who's had their experience, Zinchenko's had that experience, so they're helping them along the way. But there's a juggernaut coming, and that is Man City.
And of course, they have to play each other still twice this season. But right at the heart of that comeback tonight, Riyad Mahrez, 2 goals, including the most significant one at the end to wrap it up. And he had a huge influence as well. And they're both waiting to give their views.
Guys, well played, Jack. Incredible comeback. But let me take you back to the City dressing room at half-time. How much trouble did you think you were in?
Yeah, a lot. I thought we actually done all right in the first half. Probably had the better chances, and then it was a bit like last week, really. We conceded a goal, and then I don't know what, we took like a stupid free kick or something, and then we scored another one. So yeah, it weren't obviously the best dressing room at half time. It was silent for a little while at the start, but the manager spoke to us, give us some encouragement, and I thought we were brilliant in the second half.
So Riyad, when you're in that dressing room and, like as Jack says, it's silent, is your mind racing? Are you thinking about the league table? Are you thinking about Arsenal? Or is it just focusing on the job in hand in the second 45?
Oh, you're thinking about everything, really. Everything go through your head. But I think, like Jack said, I think we played good in the first half. We had the ball. They didn't have anything apart from the 2 goals we conceded. So when we come back, we was a bit frustrated at half time. When the manager spoke to us, and then we knew, and we've done it before, that we can come back from 2 or 1 or 2 goals behind, and that's what we did. I think we played so good second half. We showed what we are, and a bit of luck as well, but we provoked the luck and we deserve the win.
Jack, I saw you smiling when I asked Riyad if his mind was racing. Was yours?
No, well, no, not really. You're not really thinking about. Well, I weren't thinking about the table or anything that you mentioned. Just thinking about the game. Since I've been here, we've lost, I think, both games against Spurs. So
why do you think that is? What makes them a particularly difficult opponent for you?
Yeah, God knows, they sit in, they've got good, obviously Harry likes to drop deep, and then they have good runners in behind and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. And I thought that was the case, at half-time in the dressing room. But, in the second half, I thought just the way we started and the tempo, and the early goals to help. And Riyad was on fire, so it helped us.
You were on fire, Riyad.
Oh, we try. Yeah, it's all lucky, No, we try to, like he said, we start very good the second half, and we scored 2 goals early as well. So it put us in a great position to keep going and to push them. And I think, like I said, we deserve to win, and it's very good. We have to keep going.
Were you thinking, right, I'm going to be the guy, I'm going to get a grip on this? Because the run for the first one, header back assist for the second one, then a couple of goals.
I'm going to be the guy, but I was trying, like everyone, I think even Jack, who tried to be more direct, more aggressive with the ball, and we start having chances, and then we scored. That's football, And I think second half we was top, and we scored 4 goals. So it was a good night.
Be more direct. Was that the message from the manager?
No, we were actually speaking about it before the game. But it's difficult, man, against Tottenham, because obviously they have 5 at the back, and then the 2 wingers, Kulusevski and Son, also help out. So you have like the wing back, you have the right centre half, and then you have the right winger as well. So they like to double up, and they sat in a low block at times. So for wingers, it was difficult. But yeah, in the second half, once we got the goals, I think we were playing with confidence, and I think in the end we deserve the win.
Very last one, I'm going to take you again back to the first half. My highlight of your game, that tackle on Son, racing back.
What a tackle. Wow, I was scared. I thought he was gonna foul him. He was the last defender.
You know the one I'm talking about, don't you?
I know what you're talking about, but it's never a good sign when that's the highlight of a winger's match.
I didn't realise I was insulting you. Sorry,
God.
Jack.
I'm trying to think now, did I take anyone on or something?
I didn't say it was a bad game, but I just thought it's not something we always see or associate with you, is all I was going to say.
Obviously, we've got to do it, haven't we? And I think... And then at the time, I thought they had a break, and Son's so good at this breaking away.
Not today.
Yeah, no, I put a tackle in, and to be fair, I think anything could have happened, but luckily, won the ball.
Right, on that note, do you want to hand the Man of the Match award over to Riyad Mahrez?
Riyad,
well played, Riyad. Sorry, mate.
Well, it's all smiles now. But is that coming?
No, not at all. There was nothing in the game. I thought they'd done a good job to contain Man City, who have been playing very poorly. They just keep persevering. They've got clinical finishers. We know that. And they pressed at the right time. They caused the errors and they took the rewards for it. You know, brilliant. 2-0 up at half-time. They have something to hold on to now, which is very foreign to Tottenham. They're normally giving away goals in the first period and then trying to fight back. So be very interested to see what they do when Pep finally brings on the first team.
You mentioned the errors. It was something of a gift, the first one.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a poor goalkeeping error. It's decision-making. Just a long ball up the field. It's poor control from Nathan Ake. You know, he goes back to his goalkeeper. That was the press. Press at the right time. Now, he has to do better with that pass. He gives it the wrong side of Rodri. All he can do is toe it to Kulusevski and give him credit. He tucks it away beautifully. But the goalkeeper makes an error. He can either come out here to the right side, we highlighted the player he can come to, or if he wants to pass it to Rodri, he has to give it to him on the safe side, which is his left-hand side. Bentancur comes and closes down. He's closing down on his right side. He needs to give it to him on his left side so he can just turn it out to the fullback. It's a poor error. See, this is where he needs to pass it to the... Just open it up. You see where the pressure's coming from Bentancur. He needs to just roll it into the area in the D there so he can just sweep it out of his right foot. But he doesn't. He wrong fits him. He has to check. And Bentancur puts pressure on at the right time and a fantastic finish. Really, under pressure from Kulusevski. Scored a goal last year in this fixture and he's continued that form today.
Yeah, he scored in the 4th minute of this fixture last season. 44th of this fixture this season. And just over 2 minutes later, Sean, you're still shell-shocked. All Manchester City fans are as well, because Harry Kane did this and provided the second goal.
Yeah, even here, it's kind of half of a clearance here, but when it gets out, you can see Ake takes his time to get there, lets him square up instead. I feel like he should have got tight, and I feel like here Rodri just thinks he can poke it past him. And for me, Kane does well there. He just gets it across the box with as much power as he can, and Ederson does the best he can, and it falls onto Emerson's head. But I think, like, we played, I wouldn't say well up until that point. We was in good control of the game. Obviously, Spurs are going to have their points in the game because they have fantastic players and they're a good team. But I just feel like the same thing happened in the derby. After United scored the goal, there was a 5-minute spell where it just felt like we was all over the place. And I think the same thing happened there. Even on that goal, I think when they broke, there's only 2 defenders running backwards towards their own goal. Like, where's both fullbacks? Yeah. Where's the holding midfielder? Like, you've just conceded a goal. When you just concede a goal, you have to, like, breathe, keep yourself together. So basically what's just happened doesn't happen.
Do you see when Harry Kane slides and wins that ball on the line, his mind goes back to the North London derby. There's nothing, he can't pick out anyone there. What he's thinking about, he's smashing off Emerson so it goes into the back of the neck like Saka did at a weekend. That's exactly what he's thinking about. Ederson does a little bit better. He just turns it into Royale, who reacts brilliantly and heads it over. But it's very clever from Harry Kane. If you watch it again, all he's looking to do is smash it at the goalkeeper and hope it ricochets into the net. He gets a little bit fortunate with the ricochet and Royale finishes it brilliantly. So 2-0. Let's hope they can hold on.
Spurs have been behind 11 of their last 13 games, but they are 2 goals in the lead.